Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube. I'm waving. Hi. As if I can see you all. I see your comments. I'm Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the one and only Psychic News Network, where we come together and we keep each other sane. I think we do. Do you all feel like we keep each other sane? I kind of do. I kind of feel like if we didn't have this, we wouldn't really know what to do, where to go. We need direction. We need to understand. We need to really just understand this. We need to understand that what we're in the United States of America right now, we're in the midst of pushing back against a movement that is doing everything that it can to make our government crippled. We're in the midst of pushing back against a segment of the population that's doing everything they can to make sure that the state departments, the agencies, everything that defines what makes our democracy, there's a lot of moving parts. What makes the puzzle come together so it's complete and that it works like a well-oiled machine. What we're in the midst of is having a segment of the population, let's just put it in a nutshell, that are throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, to see maybe if people aren't paying attention to them throwing the spaghetti at the wall or the ketchup or whatever. And they're doing everything that they can to make sure that none of our government functions. Case in point, look what's happening at the border. And that's only one example. It's a big example. Look at what's happening at the border. How many times the Democrats have come to the table? How many times they said they want more border security? How many times they said, oh, there's a problem at the border. There's been a problem at the border for decades. How many times they say, we're not gonna okay this until you fix the problem at the border. And I'd like to know how many times the Democrats have come to the table with a proposal of like funding the border to the tune of $14 billion that Mr. Moses said, oh no, they don't want that. Border Patrol, they don't want that. Did he ask them? Did he sit down and did Moses Mike MAGA Johnson, did he sit down with the government agents, the Border Patrol at the border? And did Moses MAGA Mike Johnson sit down with them and say, the Biden administration wants to give you $14 billion to help with this border security, to beef up what we're doing, to update the technology, to make this work? Did he say that? No, he just said, I think it was to Jake Tapper. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was him. No, he said, they don't want the money. If you were a government agency, if you were heading up a government agency, would you say, and the government worked it out so that you could have the funding that you needed to make things run smoothly, would you say, if you were head of that agency, oh no, MAGA, let MAGA have their way? No, you would not. We're in the midst of an attempt for them to get every department of our system of democracy, every single segment of it that's required, they're trying to literally jam it up. And that's where we are. Yeah, it was Jake Tapper. And I'd like to see more of that. And I want to just mention that today, like the other day, Monday, when I checked the news, all I was hearing was about these stupid caucuses and primaries and whether Trump's going to pull off a win. And I missed, if I had only gone to the lamestream media, I would have missed all the other stories that were going on, which I find from at Midas Touch. So, I want to encourage you to watch the video from yesterday with the amazing astrologer, our resident astrologer, professional Aquarian, award-winning Kathy Beal. I did ask her yesterday the fate of Alina Habba. Just speaking of trying to put wrenches in the works in our judicial system, going against all the rules, brazenly going against all the rules, just plowing over, attempting to plow over the judge. And I just want to tell you that when Kathy Beal looked at Alina Habba's chart, and I was hugely curious, she said, I don't know if she's here tonight, she said, I wouldn't want to be Alina Habba. Thomas, thank you for mentioning that. I just a few minutes ago posted that Lincoln Project powerful ad, and I wanted to play it for you all. Pretty sure it's fine. I've done this before, so I don't think there's any restrictions on me playing it for you. But it's what I've been waiting for. So let me just let it run and let it forward to where it is, and I'll show it to you. I know that you may already know this, but it's worth repeating. It's important to repeat it. This is part of the authoritarian playbook. This is part of the fascist takeover playbook. And we have to stay, we can't slip behind. It's like a road race that you want to win. We can't lose our momentum. We got to keep our stride. We got to keep going. We have to beat them. So, Alina Habba today, no decorum at all. No decorum at all. How did Habba not know how to file paper evidence? She's completely freaking 100% incompetent. All she's going on, all Alina Habba is going on is her freaking looks. And if you haven't seen the video of her on some right-wing extremist show, she's way out of her depth, but she has no shame. She just doesn't even care. I don't think Alina Habba will continue for too much longer, but we will look at that. And I mentioned it before, and I mentioned it Monday night, and you probably already have seen it, where she was on some kind of show and she was asked, would you rather have, if you had to pick, would you rather have good looks or be smart, have brains? And she chose good looks. And not for anything. But, the way that she puts her lips out like a duck, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but I'm so mad at her. That, that she does, that's not natural. She's probably looking for a job at Fox Phone News. I would say yes. That's what, Kayleigh McEnany did. Alina she's not fit. And actually, I did say to Kathy, because Kathy Beal is a lawyer too, and she mentioned how angry Alina Habba makes her. So, and you hear that from other lawyers too, how angry Alina Habba makes them. So, we already have over 200 people in the chat. Hang on, we'll hug in a sec. I won't forget. I just want us to really get it that we have to talk about what's going on. We have to tell everybody that we know what's going on. We have to show this ad. I'm going to show you the ad when it comes up. Elliot, you keep asking me where Elliot is. Elliot, the Democracy Elf, is going to be shipped off to be repaired. He'll be back, don't worry. But since you mentioned it, I asked the Moose to fill in. So he hasn't been shipped yet because I couldn't find the right envelope to ship him yet. And he's being shipped with, yeah, Elliot lost his head. It was too much for him. Elliot, the Democracy Elf, lost his head. So I asked the Moose to fill in. So you guys can come up with a name for the Moose. Okay, so maybe our United States Constitution Moose. And he has a little vote sticker on his antlers there. So he's holding down the fort. A little changing of the guard here. Come on, you can't block the sign though. Alright. So is Selena Habba from Jersey? Is that what you're saying? No, we're not going to call him Bullwinkle. That's already taken. Jefferson Moose, I kind of like that. Gee, where are my cards? What do we want to use? Let's start with, let's use the Darkwood Tarot to start with, and then we might change it up. Yeah, I'm shipping Elliot out. No worries. And he's not coming back until the weather gets cold again. I mean, Christmas time. So, all right. Warren wants to do a group hug. So when we do this group hug, I want us to do a group hug with an intention, and the intention is that enough people wake up. Okay, ready? Group hug, democracy group hug. And see us coming together and saving our democracy and making it really, really strong. And so it is. Alina Habba. We're going to start with Alina Habba. And I'm going to pull 3 cards. I'm asking about this whole hearing trial. She's actually getting up there and saying, she's acting like he hasn't already been charged with sexual assault, which would have been a rape charge if New York defined assault the same way some other states define it as rape. And when I look at the misogyny, I mean, Alina Habba, she should be ashamed. Alina Habba should be ashamed. Because she's actually, Alina Habba, what's coming out of her mouth is so misogynist that you can't even believe it's coming out of a woman's mouth. Yeah, I did see the wounds on Trump's hand, and I will read on that. Warren's grateful for Alina Habba's incompetence. Yeah, there's that side of it too, right? Okay. Well, the judgment. So asking about Alina Habba and this whole trial that's going on to see how much more the loser needs to pay. Hey, John. By the way, I went to the post office and I got envelopes today, so thank you guys. I haven't opened them yet, so thank you for the gifts. I need to get more on top of my practical matters. Anyway, it's not my strong point. Judgment. Judge Kaplan, not happy. Not happy. Doesn't take a psychic to tell you that. The loser is being judged. The Knight of Wands. Well, understand that what the loser wants is he wants to be handcuffed and led out of the courtroom, that's what he wants. He wants to be handcuffed and led out of the courtroom because he wants to use that to grift. Even though it's not being filmed, because it's federal. The Knight of Wands indicates that the charge, like the conditions, the circumstances, this is what I pick up, I don't know legally. The circumstances in which the loser would be handcuffed and thrown out of court, those circumstances are all present. Habba dad joke? What did one ocean say to the other ocean? Nothing, they just waved. I like it. I like it. I can't believe I didn't know that one. So all these circumstances are in place that any normal person, well, any other person would have been led out of the courtroom in handcuffs. That all the conditions are there for that to happen. The only reason that Judge Kaplan didn't do that is he's taken a wait and see kind of position. Because he doesn't want to give Trump what he's doing. So they're playing with the court. And that's the loser's MO. To just break up the norms. He wants that. And that's why Judge Kaplan didn't do it. And that's also why Judge Chutkin lifted the gag order. And then I think something happened with that today too. So when I'm saying that I've been checking the news and they're not giving me the news, I mean it. I know something happened with there was another appeal that got shot down. Write Midas Touch a fan letter, because I don't know we wouldn't know anything that was going on if we were relying on the lamestream news media, honestly. But it looks like, I'm not sure when this gets settled. Let's ask how much he's going to be fined. I'm getting like 350 million, but that was New York too, right? We'll get to Trump's health. James Carville said it was the clap. I would have to agree with that. But we'll take a look at what's on Trump's hand. I think it was an overnight thing. New York wants 370 million, but I'm asking about the E. Jean Carroll case. Will it be more than 200 million? Yep. It's going to break him. He will have nothing left. Well, the thing about the loser is there's no intention in his mind whatsoever of him paying it. Understand that. Dump Tower, soon to be E. Jean Carroll Tower. There's no thought in his mind that he's going to pay it. Understand that. It doesn't take a psychic. Look at his history. Will the fine exceed 250 million? Yes. Did I already say 250? I thought I said 200 million. Will it exceed 300 million? Good Lord! Will the fines exceed 350? This cannot, like, can the loser claim bankruptcy? Well, he has a history of that. He may have all of his assets locked up so that they can't be used to pay his fines. Okay, is it going to be 400 million? 400 million. I got 400 million. Will it be 400 million? It looks like 400 million. Now, I did not already answer the syphilis question. I'll do that next since we're talking about it. Wildflower Wind, I wasn't asking about the New York case. I was asking about the E. Jean Carroll case, and I got 400 million. He only has 400 million in cash. Do you know that? You're sure all of his moolah is out of the country? Nehru? Is all of Trump's money out of the country? No, it's not all out of the country. Read what Terry Hall is putting up there. She's promoting me. I'll take all the help I can get. The sores on the palms of his hands, which is weird. And okay, so let me tell you my sense about that. I do feel like it's an STD, a herpes type thing, a virus. I do feel that. And I feel like because he's under so much stress, if anybody has, I guess, herpes simplex, we all have these viruses anyway, but if somebody has just simple herpes, when does a cold sore break out? When do you get showings that you have herpes? When you're stressed. Could he have fallen? Well, I looked at his hand and I saw the way the wounds were, just looked like, if you're holding a racket or something, or rowing in a boat, you get blisters. It seemed kind of like what blisters would do, but they were open sores. And I'm not going to dwell on this because it's grossing me out. Kind of look like burns, right? Was his hand burned? I'm getting burns. Texting exacerbating the sores. I'm getting burns. So I guess I'm contradicting myself. Hang on. Thank you for joining, Karen. You'll get an affirmation in your inbox. When you're a member, you get an affirmation in your inbox every single day. All right, so let's ask the pendulum. Are those sores, are they a virus? Okay. I think what's going on is that he does have an STD. Those sores seem to be burns. Did he grab onto something and burn himself? Kind of. No, it's not the stigmata. Did you really just say that? Thank you, Amy. The affirmations are great. Charlie C. Sage of Fire. Are you joking with the stigmata thing? You're joking, right? Okay, just checking, because I mean, a lot of people don't know what the stigmata is. It's what saints, get the wounds of Christ, which means they're really high up there on the echelon of vibration. There are people that think that he's the loser is the Christ or David, and which just reminds me that Ben Carson was on Fox proclaiming that he thinks that that the loser, well, he said Trump, is the chosen one. I'm going to pull 3 cards about these wounds. His cult base would say that. That's why I was asking. Are you serious? Have you heard that? Yeah, he's the Antichrist. That's true. There's not a crime that I can think of that the loser has not committed. So I'm pulling 3 cards about that. I mean, and what's interesting too is if you were in a position where you were going to be given a speech and you were aware that you had these odd looking wounds on your hand, wouldn't you try to cover them up? I mean, at the January 6th, he wore gloves. Murder, as far as we know, has not been committed. I beg to differ. That's all I'm going to say about that. Not by his own hands. Now he wants sympathy. Connie's saying that he wouldn't have covered up his wounds with makeup because he wants sympathy. I don't see how that would work. Anyway. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. Let me just tell you what I'm getting. is weird because what I'm getting is he's so angry at women that I feel like, because I have the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Wands, so you could say Letitia James, Fani Willis, and E. Jean Carroll and her lawyers. 17,000 people died from Trump's cure, from him saying that to drink bleach. If you're a rational person, you would cover up the wounds. Yes. I wonder if the news is going to come out with it. What I feel like is he was very, very angry and he grabbed something because, all right, I don't know if I took a picture. I know I promised to show you that ad. But first, I'm going to see if I have a picture of... No, I don't. But look on Midas Touch. The wounds look like he grabbed something. So I feel like... I feel like it's burns. He told people to drink algae? I'm really confused by that. Anyway, the misogyny is, and somebody's asking right now, a cross. Hydroxychloroquine is an algae? That's news to me. I didn't know that. Hatred. MAGA hat is red. Put hat and red together and you get hatred. Yeah, actually that really makes sense. Alina Habba, he doesn't hate Alina Habba because you have to understand the way that the loser looks at people is what can I get from you? How can I benefit from you? So the malignant sociopathic narcissism is so intense. It's so extreme. So Alina Habba, he's using. And Alina Habba thinks that she's using him. There's some weird stuff going on between those two. I apologize for dwelling so long in the slime. But I have to pull 3 cards. Boy, the misogyny is so intense. The loser is so, gosh, I don't know why such a rage. Angela's already going, yep, gross. I'm pulling 3 cards about the relationship between Alina and the loser. What's going on there? They're both losers. They're both the same. Says I am spiritual in the chat. I'm asking about the relationship between the loser and Alina Habba. He's promised her. This reminds me of the story right out of the actual Bible. When Satan tempts Christ in the desert and he says, you can have all of this if you just bow down to me, right? Right? This isn't a Bible channel. I'm just telling you the story. The relationship between Alina Habba and the loser. He's promised her that she would be queen of the world. Of Trump world. He's promised her that she would be queen of the world. He's offered her a gift. It feels like this is weird. It feels like he's offered Alina Habba like material wealth, but I'm feeling like it's not cash, it's more like property. So, all right, so that would kind of make sense because he won't have any liquid, he won't have any cash. He's promised her something. He's promised her that she'd be queen of the world. It's transactional. Yeah, it's always transactional. Angela's going right down that road. Is he going to marry her? No. I don't think he's going to be around that long. He never pays lawyers, so yeah. And she's out there. I'm still completely, my mind is completely blown that Alina Habba was actually accusing E. Jean Carroll of staging the rape because she needed the fame. That one, man, that's just really got me in a tizzy. What are you guys talking about? Are you using bad words? What's so scary, Warren? We don't do scary things here. So much we can read on tonight, but one thing I want to read on, because I was thinking about this on Monday, but we kind of ran out of time. I'm working on squeezing it as much as I can into, because the news is just piling up and piling up. We can't get to everything each time, which is why I'm going to start doing pre-recorded videos on the off days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But on Monday, I wanted to look at what's going on with Greg Abbott. There are people in positions of leadership that have no business having the lives of fellow human beings in their hands. 45 is, he is, yeah, 45 is he is a fascist. You know, the loser is mentally completely unstable, and Greg Abbott is mentally completely unstable. And I want to put this in the most coded way that I can. And I've hinted around about it too. And it's a tough topic. You know that Greg Abbott has it set up that the federal agents can't come down to the border. If you live in Texas, you know the area that I'm talking about. So if they're needed, they're not allowed to go to the border to do their job. And a woman and her 2 babies drowned. And it's not just them. And Merrick Garland is down there today because the DOJ has been investigating what happened at Uvalde. So I'm just going to say this in this way. Law enforcement should have been able to go into that elementary school where those poor, beautiful children were being massacred by a crazed gunman. And they were held back, and nobody could figure it out. Well, let me just also say that just a couple of days later, Greg Abbott attended the National Rifle Association event a few days later. When a governor of a state knows that there's a gun massacre going on at an elementary school or a high school or whatever, if you were the governor, you would drop everything and you would say, I need to do my job. So when you put the pieces together, he hates asylum seekers so much that he's putting razor wire on the border, and the government is saying, by the way, I see international agencies getting involved. These are asylum seekers. I see Amnesty International getting involved. I see, this is so horrible that this is happening in the United States. What's the rest of the world thinking of America right now? Like we were talking about on Monday. Are we going to be known as the country of cruelty? He belongs in jail. He didn't do anything to stop those children from being massacred at Uvalde. And that's how I'm going to say it. And the loser, just switching people but same personality type, didn't do anything when people were being bloodied and eyes were being gouged out and they were being beaten and impaled practically, and Mike Pence was, they were calling for a lynching, and the loser sat there and didn't do anything. Who is it that's being investigated by the Capitol Police and FBI for hits on congressmen? It's Roger Stone. Texas doesn't have term limits for governors. Well, that needs to change. I'm going to pull 3 cards on the fate of Greg Abbott. But I just want you to know, I've read on what's going on in Texas in terms of the government of Texas. I've read on it before. I've never really seen a state or a situation that was so mired and so corrupt in dark, corrupt, evil money as Texas and the big oil money. I've never, ever seen. There's no state in the United States that's more corrupt than Texas. Look at Paxton, for instance, letting women die that have complications in pregnancy. And then going a step further and saying in an emergency, in a situation where there's an emergency abortion needs to be performed, Paxton, you can't help the woman that's in an emergency. It's really bad. And the reason that I'm going on about it is because it's so bad that the only way that we can cope is to block it out. Yeah, Louisiana too. It's funny. I was just thinking of Louisiana, and I'm thinking Mississippi too. But as far as all 50 states go, Texas is so mired in big oil, big NRA, huge money. Yeah, Trump wanted to put alligators at the border. And I just saw a little clip of, what's her name? Luna? Advocating for separating children from their families. I'm reading on Greg Abbott right now. Bad juju in Texas. Let's see what his fate is. Because Merrick Garland was down there at Uvalde today. I'm not sure what activities he was involved in, but it's connected to the investigation they're doing about the law enforcement and the authorities during the Uvalde shooting. Biden needs to do something about the border. Glenn, did you miss the part where they're trying to, but the GOP won't agree to anything? I mean, you know that, right? Biden needs to do something about the border. Can somebody explain to Glenn? They're not letting Biden do anything at the border. And this is, I'm actually glad that you put that in the chat, because it lets me know that I have to tell you. They will not agree to anything. I actually don't, but people are asking about New Hampshire. We'll look at New Hampshire. I was thinking of driving up to New Hampshire just to observe. We'll see. It's it. In New Hampshire, is he in? Where are they in New Hampshire? Are they in Manchester? I'll look. Or Portsmouth. Okay, what I see here, sorry, it's taking me forever. This is about Greg Abbott. Yes, we should put the pressure on too. We should put the pressure on to get, Greg Abbott needs to be in jail. So Luna today in a hearing about the border, is it Laura Looney Tunes? She's so evil. She was advocating for family separation. Manchester, New Hampshire, yeah, that's about an hour away. Thinking about it. I have the death card on Abbott. He is going to be called onto the carpet for what he's done. He is. And the temperance is the law. He's in big, big, deep doo-doo, big, big trouble. For a lot of crimes. I get a really strong sense that the DOJ has this really, all the details, all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted about Abbott, about that administration. I know, Doug, I was just saying that earlier, that Biden offered $14 billion to fix the situation at the border. So Glenn, I'm glad you're here tonight, because we can inform you. Yes, and I just subscribed to The View. Those women drive me crazy because they talk over each other way too much, but I did just subscribe, and I did see Kamala Harris on The View. She said the Senate has a bipartisan bill to fix the border crisis. Exactly, but the House Republicans are sitting on it. They won't. If it has the Biden administration's name on it, they will say no. If it looks like the Democrats are doing their job and they're doing it well, and they're the Democrats, because they are, the Democrats are, they're doing their job, then what did I call them the other night? The S&M? The S&M party. The stupid and mean party. If it's Biden, they dig their heels in. And then they have these mock hearings. You know what I'm going to read on now? I'm going to read on, you got to talk to people about this stuff that's going on. You really do. They've called, I don't know if they sent her a subpoena or something. I don't know what the legal thing is. They want to interview, I don't know if it's going to be behind closed doors or what, but they're bringing in Cassidy Hutchinson. They're doing the Hunter Biden thing with Cassidy Hutchinson next. And Angela's saying now the House wants to bring in Cassidy. No, the S&M party wants to bring in Cassidy Hutchinson. And it's all for the little video clips that they can get. The S&M party said she lied. They were freaking there. Makes me crazy. They were freaking there. Most of them were there on January 6th. Remember Kevin McCarthy? Remember they're all calling, Trump, call it off. I'm scared, they're coming after me. Give me a break. They're saying Cassidy lied. They were there. They are also persecuting Fani Willis. Does that surprise you? Or are you saying that they're trying to bring Fani Willis in for a hearing? Yeah, Jim Jordan's been telling Fani Willis to stop doing her job. Yeah, so Warren is putting up the story there. So let me just say, I think most of us here know, but then a lot of times I assume we all know, but then I find out that we don't all know. Cassidy Hutchinson fired the first lawyer because it was Trump appointed. It was a lawyer that Trump said, use this lawyer, and the lawyer, I forget his name, initially told Cassidy to just keep saying that she didn't remember. And so she went ahead, because she didn't have the money to pay for her own lawyer. She's a young woman that young people don't have a lot of money just starting out, right? Warren, I'm doing the best that I can. I am using that word. So she used his lawyer. I can't say the loser all the time, because people that are new, I have to make sure they know who I'm talking about. I'm sure they do, but I'm just covering all my bases. So he told her to lie and say she didn't remember. And then she walked away from that feeling not right. Like you and I would feel not right. Our moral compass would be like, what's going on here? I can't do this. And that's what happened. And so I'm going to pull 3 cards about what's going to happen if they indeed pull her in for a hearing. And I don't know. Well, let's ask this. Will Cassidy Hutchinson show up? Because remember, I think we're on day 600, so right around 600, that Jim Jordan didn't answer the subpoena to go in front of the January 6th committee. There's a whole list of them that were called in that refused to show up. And then Hunter Biden shows up in person. They're trying to hold him in contempt for not showing up for a deposition behind closed doors. So he shows up and they're like, do they really want to answer? Let's see is Cassidy going to show up? No. She's not obligated. I get no. And I wouldn't if I were her. Yes, and they're wasting our money. I'm really surprised at how if we lived in Europe, there would be people on the streets. Do you remember in France, I think it was last year, when Macron decided to raise the retirement age by a year or 2? Remember that? They were all on the streets. They were having huge protests. They were like, we're not going to work 2 more years or 1 more year. We want to have our retirement. Look at how much we've had to put up with. I don't think people get mad enough. And people get mad at me when I rant. 3 cards about the Cassidy Hutchinson situation. Honestly, the rest of the world must be looking at us going, what is wrong with those people? Why don't they do something? I'm sure. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and thank you if you have. The do-nothing Republicans, I know, I've been saying that. You know, it's all projection. All projection. I kind of have this feeling that Cassidy is being advised not to show up. The 2 of Cups. Yeah, she's got comrades. Liz Cheney pops into my mind. Liz Cheney pops into my mind. I don't feel like she's going to. I don't feel like she has to. It's too traumatizing for one thing. Not that she can't handle it. That girl can handle a lot. Yeah. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate the support for the rants. I do. If you saw my astrology, you would understand. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. Not usually. The French never had any problems with their 1% after 1789. Right, they had a similar problem that Elliot the Elf has right now. Aha! Poor Elliot the Elf. The news just made him lose his head. He'll be back. Elliot the Democracy Elf will be back. In the meantime, we have the Moose filling in. We need a good name for the Democracy Moose. The 2 of Cups indicates that Cassidy Hutchinson has support. She has support. And I don't feel, and Liz, is Liz an attorney? I don't know. Is Liz Cheney an attorney? I guess she probably is, right? I think at least half of the people that hold public office have been attorneys. Connie Moose, maybe. It's not. Yeah, because what I'm getting about Cassidy is that Liz Cheney, that she probably called Liz Cheney up, and Liz Cheney said, don't worry, I've got you back, don't worry, don't listen to those guys. And I also get the sense too that Liz Cheney knows what's going on behind the scenes in terms of legal matters. So, Mufasa Moose? Mufasa Moose? I don't know. That's not. If somebody comes up with a name for the moose and it just goes like, and I just have this ding 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 ding, that's it, then I'll let you know. So it makes sense that, okay, so Liz Cheney is a constitutional lawyer. Yeah, it makes sense. And Liz Cheney knows what's going on behind the scenes in terms of legal matters. Congress used to be filled with learned people. Yeah, well, the problem is that the problem really is people aren't educated. Melania the Moose? No, not happening. Nice try. Montgomery Moose? How about something that's connected to democracy? It's a male moose? It might be a female moose. Oh, no. It has antlers, so it's a male. I had a stupid moment right there. So as far as Cassidy Hutchinson goes, she has the Five of Pentacles. This is interesting because it shows me a little bit of the I don't know how, but the S&M party, this stupid and mean party, the Putin Republicans, they want to sink her financially. Some of them are as dumb as dirt. I think dirt is smarter. They want to sink her financially. I don't know really. Does anyone have any idea why I would be getting that? We the People Moose. I like that. Anti-MAGA Moose. Oh, you're getting closer. I'd rather have a pro. No, Bullwinkle is taken. Bruce the Moose. Maybe you're getting closer. Madison the Moose. Might be Madison. Might be Jimmy Madison. Okay. Gazillion things we need to read on, and I've only scratched the surface, and it's already almost an hour. Democracy Moose. Well, we have the Democracy Elf. I want something a little more colorful. George Washington Moose. Kind of like Madison Moose. Might be Madison. Okay, so I read on Abbott. I did get the death card when it comes to Greg Abbott. So it does feel like Greg Abbott's going to be stopped because I did get the RGB Moose. Madison Moose. Murray the Moose. I'm liking Madison. We'll try Madison. What do you think? You like Madison? I think so. Let's read on these hearings. I had said before that as far as Hunter Biden goes, by next month that's going to be all done. There are two people in Congress that are having difficulties in life, and they will be probably stepping down from their seats. Max the Moose. I like that. So I'm going to just read on I'm actually going to read on the Putin Republicans, also known as the S&M party. Moosevelt. Oh, I kind of like that. I like Moosevelt too. Maybe maybe on Friday I'll write down a bunch of names and then we'll take a vote. The Putin Republicans, the S&M party, the stupid and mean party. Major Moose, I like that. What they're doing, these hearings, 100%. I'll read on, did some of them get target letters? 100%. These hearings are to cover up their involvement in January 6th. 100%. These hearings are about covering up, they're an attempt, Moosevelt, I like Moosevelt. They're an attempt to cover up January 6th. Teddy Moosevelt, getting closer. They're attempting to, the guys are showing me kind of like they're trying to put a veil over January 6th, and the hearings, these mock hearings, these clown hearings, are meant to be like a veil to obscure January 6th, because they know what's coming. And the Seven of Wands, let me think, Seven of Wands and the Rider-Waite. This is just going to be, I have this image of these hearings, these sham hearings, as like a slippery slope. I like Bruce the Moose too. We'll take a vote on Friday for a moose name. Franklin the Moose of Liberty. I like that too. You guys have great ideas. You're so creative. It's a slippery slope. Lincoln the Moose. Hey Terry, can you do me a favor and write down some of the proposed names for the moose? Bull moose, like the party. All right, so let's take a look at what's going to happen in New Hampshire. Well, by the way, Nikki Haley said, no, I forgot about my tea leaves. Moose dad joke. Why did the moose become a comedian? Because he had a great sense of antlertainment. That's a bad dad joke. Nikki Haley refused to do any more debates because the loser won't show up to the debates. Good for her. As much as I don't respect her, I'm glad that she said that. I actually see Nikki Haley making the loser very nervous. All right, I have to get off the moose names for a sec. I have to focus. He said she was Biden. He said that, well, what do you mean? The loser said that Nikki Haley was Biden? That doesn't make any sense to me. Not that the loser's making any sense. Beetlejuice Moose. Now that reminds me of Boebert. By the way, as far as Lauren Boebert goes, she's on a downward spiral. Yeah, Sissy just confirmed it. I feel like Nikki Haley's gonna win in New Hampshire. I do. I'm not a fan. I'm just reading. Yeah, I'm not a fan. She said we're not a racist country. Almost every problem in this country is connected to racism. It's my opinion. Is Nikki Haley going to lead in New Hampshire? I have a yes on that. I feel like the loser got the inside scoop on that. I mean, not that anybody really knows for sure who's going to win in New Hampshire. We have a whole year of this. My opinion is correct. Thank you. Almost a whole year of this, and it's going to go fast. Let's read on New Hampshire. I mean, it's just absolutely horrifying to see how deep the roots of racism go in this country. Yeah, the South Carolina flag. Do they still have a Confederate flag on that flag for South Carolina? Is it still on there? They must have removed it. Liberty Moose, Marty the Moose. Madison might win. I'm seeing Nikki Haley pulling ahead. It's a horse race, but I'm seeing her pulling ahead. It's not by a lot, but I'm seeing her pulling ahead. Maybe I should go to New Hampshire and just be a fly on the wall. If Nikki gets a nomination, you think the loser will run anyway, I'm sticking with what I said over a year ago. That he would be too busy in court to really be campaigning. And look at it. If you've seen the loser at his rallies, he's losing his, where it is in New Hampshire, takes about an hour to drive there. The last rally that I really looked at was him talking about, and they asked me, "Sir, how do you put your pants on in the morning?" What would I do if I met the loser? I don't think he would even see me. I think that I could be standing right in front of the loser and he wouldn't even see me, because our vibrational frequencies are so starkly different. He couldn't conceive of a normal person. I say that, kind of tongue in cheek. So we're reading on New Hampshire. Wow. Here are the cards that I have about New Hampshire and what's going to go on there. He's going to be raging mad. He's going to be raging mad. And when he gets raging mad, the loser, it ain't pretty. And I do feel like that's what those sores on his hand are. I feel like he picked something up that was hot and got wounded. I actually don't think that it's, like we were saying earlier, we were looking at whether it was STDs. No, I think he did something in a fit of rage where he got wounds on his hand, and we may never know. But in New Hampshire, I have the Fool and the Devil and the Three of Cups, which indicates to me a shake-up. That's a woman in the Fool card in this deck, and that's the Devil, which is the loser. And the Three of Cups is a celebration. I'm going to ask, is a celebration a Haley? I'm getting Nikki Haley. Franklin Roosevelt might win. We'll see. I'm getting a strong Nikki Haley. Is anybody watching? Oh, Cash Peters said he saw Haley beating Trump. I have to agree with that. And I got little hints of that last week or the week before. Because I remember we were talking about the 14th Amendment. I do have to read on the Supreme Court too, by the way, before we go. And I remember reading on, the 14th Amendment, whether he'd qualify, and then I was like, I don't know. I see Nikki Haley and not the loser. Okay, so let me do a quick commercial. Warren, that's already on my mind. I'm going to do a quick commercial and then we're going to read on the Supreme Court in the Chevron case. I mean, the Chevron case is in the past, but this new case with these fishermen in Cape May, New Jersey. Hang on a second. My commercial. I have the whiteboard too. Hang on. Where is it? Where it has to, the whiteboard's over here. Hang on. I have both. But first, you must go to my website to sign up for my free class based on my book, which is called The 7-Day Key to Living Inspiration and Empowerment. I wrote it in 2013. We're going to go through the book in 7 sessions. This is a free class that starts on the day of the new moon in February and the Chinese New Year. It's a year of the dragon. Go to psychicannettedion.com to sign up for this. It's a free class and it's 7 sessions on Saturdays starting at 12 noon to 12:45. The book is the 7-Day Key to Living Inspiration and Empowerment. And it's my book. It's available on Amazon and on my website. So, I'm going to do my best to not get distracted by what you're saying in the chat. It's going to be February 10th through March 24th. So it's just 45 minutes each session. We're going to go through the book. It's about the law of attraction. Also, thank you, Terry, for giving me the idea of putting my stuff on these pieces of paper. If you would like a reading for me to read you and to tell you, or to give you kind of a plan for getting your energy level up, I'm offering winter doldrums readings. This is really good. The special focus is how do I get more energy? Book a session to find out. It's not a diagnosis. It's because I don't do that, but it's more that I tune into your energy field and I tune into your guides and I get information about what would be helpful to bring up your energy. And somebody sees Trump having a stroke in the near future. That's interesting. All the stress might do that. You want to have democracy or not? Join us, grassrootsofdemocracy.com, because the alternative is not pretty. Also, my board's getting messed up. Remember, our theme is Hope Restored for 2024. I also do tarot readings, tea leaf readings, spiritual life coaching. If you want to change your life, you should sign up for that. Free and paid classes and events. Go to psychicannettedion.com. When you join my channel, you get an affirmation in your inbox daily for the low price of subscription at 3 different levels. The top 2 levels, you're invited to a psychic party the last Saturday of every month. Church of Spirituality is Sundays at 1 Eastern Time. If you're not watching Church of Spirituality, you're missing an opportunity to improve your life. There's Grassroots of Democracy. Also, I don't have it written down, but on Saturday the 20th, it's a very auspicious day. The sun goes into Aquarius, Pluto goes into Aquarius, and there's a lot of energy going on that day. I'm doing a special Spirit Talk podcast with Jonathan Glass, who owns Healing Essence Center in Concord, Massachusetts. Historic Concord, Massachusetts. His wife is Catherine Glass, and she's a psychic I've done a show with. And we're going to have a discussion about how to stay healthy. You believe that democracy is already being threatened? Are you new? I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. That's why we're here, because democracy is being threatened. Yes, I'm very busy. I have a lot going on. And my mind is always going. Doug is leaving. Thank you for coming. Come back. Oh, please subscribe to my channel. And please hit the thumbs up. We're going to do tea leaves in a sec. That was my commercial. I try not to make it too long. I don't want to lose people. And I want to thank everybody who sent me donations. It keeps me going. Let's read the tea leaves after we do one more. Wow, they're all bunched up over by Jupiter. This is exactly what I wanted to tell you. On Saturday, it's going to be at 12 noon, that show. 12 Eastern Time. The Secretary of Defense, Austin, do I see him retiring soon? Not right away. I see him there another several months. Yes, that ad. Thank you for mentioning again the ad that the Lincoln Project put up. I didn't want to make you wait while I went through to find the spot where it is on my phone, but look it up and maybe we'll look at it together on Friday. Thank you for reminding me, Warren. I'm sorry I yelled at you. You might notice that I have, it's hard to see, but I have my Nope pin on. Nope with the Trump hair, the loser hair. It's from last time. So this is important, and stay with me because this is so important. The Supreme Court doesn't care if we live or die. The Supreme Court doesn't care if we're not safe. The way that the Supreme Court is leaning, they don't care. I understand these fishermen, excuse me, Cape May, Billy, you know I live in the oldest fishing village in the country. So I understand the fisherman dilemma. A couple decades ago, the government came in and was really, really strict and started to regulate the fishing boats, and these people who had made livings on the ocean for generations, there were so many restrictions on how many fish they could catch, and there were so many limits, and they did have federal agents on the boat to inspect and to make sure they weren't breaking the laws, and they kind of went overboard. So now these fishermen, and I'll give you the simplified version, it went to the Supreme Court that they don't want to be regulated like that. And so now what's on the docket is whether the federal government can have agencies that oversee and that impose restrictions and regulations so that people are safe. There is, yeah, they did that on the East Coast in Canada and it worked. The fish came back. Yeah, well, it's like, they did go overboard, pun intended. They did go overboard with, you know, some people, they get power and they get too pushy. And there's a documentary called Dead in the Water about what happened to the fishermen here in Gloucester. However, if the Supreme Court votes that the government is not allowed to intervene and to regulate and to put laws and restrictions. Remember what happened with the train wrecks, the train derailments, right? Because, you know, the loser took away the regulations, the oversight. And people's homes were, their livelihood was destroyed. There's not a moment that I you know, pour a glass of water to drink that I don't have a gratitude that I have clean water to drink. We don't have any fish to, yeah. Well, the fishing industry is pretty dead. Sad. We really have to activate. We can't have deregulation. Yeah, so I'm going to read what Warren wrote. The issue is whether the agency can interpret congressional writing where there is an ambiguity as opposed to the judges. That's hard for people to understand, so I just tried to put it in simple terms. We want the government to still be able to have oversight. I'm pulling 3 cards. And all you have to do is check the news and read the articles, and, you know, we can get into this issue more on Friday. The star card indicates the United States will win this one. The death card indicates it's gonna, this makes me feel a little bit better. I don't feel like we'll lose our regulations. I feel like there are too many dissenting voices in terms of losing our regulations and oversight. So, and the star indicates the United States, the people have the power. Phew, I'm glad to see that. So I understand there are tons more things we could read on, but, you know, there's only so many hours in a day. Will the United States of America put a criminal as president? No. Don't buy the crabs, they need to come back. Oysters in Maryland are for crabs. How often should you cleanse your deck? I don't cleanse my deck. I'm not really sure why people feel like they have to cleanse their deck. Where is my little wand? Let's use a feather. Oh no, hang on, let's use the wand. Thank you for being here. The sun is shining, and well, the sun is being blocked. This is the sunshine that's being blocked. This is the American people that feel like their sunshine's being blocked. Government's ability to engage professionals concerning questions of environmental importance are of, yeah, they're very important. That's the point that I was attempting to make. And just on that note, I have been to India. And when I was, where was I? In Bombay. It's now called Mumbai. This was at the end of the 1990s. This is right before the year 2000. I went to India, and I could smell the city from the airplane before we landed. And then driving through the streets of India, it's like the 1950s in terms of there's no restrictions on emissions. And people are coughing, like everyone's coughing. And that was the first thing I thought. I'm so grateful we have the EPA, and of all presidents, Nixon signed that into place. So we're gonna feel like the light is being blocked. By the way, there's a volcano that erupted in Iceland, and literally that can block the sunlight later. There's a lot of activity around Mercury and a lot of activity around Jupiter. Everybody keep your wits about you. That looks like a camera, an old-fashioned camera. There's going to be so much news coming at you in the next couple of days. Like, I understand it. You won't know what to make of it. But see if you can go through the news. Use it. Do this as an exercise. Go through the news and weigh it out. Like, if it feels right. If it feels right. If it feels right. Like, test out your intuitive sense. Right? If you're looking at the news and it feels wrong, it feels off, then pay attention to that and go to the news sources that make you feel like, like it clicks, like it's true. Really important, because we're going to have a lot coming at us, and the guides are telling me really strongly, don't pay attention to these primaries. Don't pay attention to anything that sounds remotely like, oh, he's going to win. The loser's going to win. Losers don't win, they lose. That's why we call them losers. Anyway, so I just see there's going to be just a ton of news, and Jupiter's here, so it's going to be big, and Mercury's here, so that's what that's about. I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm not going to get into anything more about that, but this is imminent. This is the next couple of days. It's just going to be like, wow, overwhelm. And I only go to Midas Touch for my news, except I do check in on MSNBC too for breaking news. Just in case it's breaking news, so I know. Okay, Midas Touch, the Midas Moose. Oh, wow. If I call our Democracy Moose, he's filling in. If I call him the Midas Moose, that might get some traction for Grassroots of Democracy. While I still have you, I'm going to pull 3 cards. Iowa had 15% of the eligible voters. Yeah, there wasn't a good turnout for the loser in Iowa. 3 cards to get you from now till we're back on Friday. Gorsuch's mother tried to take down the EPA. That's interesting. But I didn't see the Supreme Court succeeding at dismantling the Environmental Protection Agency or the other agencies. Emperor, we're going to hear a lot about the loser. The loser's going to come out kind of swinging, and the Nine of Pentacles, this is going to add to how many charges are against him. There's going to be information coming out about the High Priestess, about what's been hidden about the loser. Yes, Biden is definitely going to get tougher as a candidate. Yes, absolutely. He's a Scorpio. He's got a lot of Scorpio in his chart. Keep an eye on Texas. Abbott is on the warpath. Pray for migrants. Shockwave, were you here when I read on Greg Abbott? Only 50,000 out of 750,000 registered Republicans voted for the loser. Not enough passion to get out the vote. And a lot of people are very angry. And I'll just leave you with this thought. The misogyny is rampant. And the women are extremely outraged. So we're not going to stand for it. And with E. Jean Carroll there and Alina Habba actually doing the old, like, you did it because you wanted it. Look out. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Truer words hardly ever spoken. All right. To be continued. Demonic? Why are you asking if... Why are you saying demonic with a question mark? To be continued. I love you guys. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please share if you want to. Grassrootsdemocracy.com. We have a meeting tomorrow. I want to see the room filled, the Zoom room filled. All right. See you soon. Love you. Namaste. Hey, Kathy.